Greetings and salutations, brothers and sisters. I am here to bring you another glorious WWE wrestling review, this time for Raw. So I got my breakdown, I got my notes, all of that good stuff, so I'm just ready to jump right on in. All right, so Raw opens up with a video package, from last week's verbal tirade from John Cena, just pretty much just cutting it down the size that Roman Reigns, which everybody enjoyed right here. Now look at this. Now let me say this real quick. Now John Cena, a lot of people didn't like him for this. A lot of people like me, John Cena wanted to do the heel turn like he said, but looking at him like this, I'm starting to respect Cena just a little bit more. Like he really is at the top of his game. And unless you're The Rock or Chris Jericho or CM Punk, I mean, you pretty much don't stand a chance against this guy on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? But after that was all said and done, John Cena is out in the ring, and it's Jason Jordan comes on now. And funny that they do a video package showing you John Cena had his first opportunity against Jason Jordan's dad, Kurt Angle, right? And then how he did good, how he had the ruthless aggression, and they didn't even show the clip afterwards, but I remember when he went backstage, and Undertaker gave him the nods up as well. So it kind of looks like John Cena is trying to do the same thing, and if the rumors, the dirt sheets are true, where it's talking about how John wants to fight a lot of the younger talent, he is the measuring stick after all, so it doesn't really surprise me here. But anyway, so John Cena versus Jason Jordan, and if I may quote Sir JR here, this was a freaking barn burner here, and it was a couple of times with Joey Styles, I was like, oh my God, this was a really, really good match, a nice showcase for Jason Jordan here to show his potential. Now, I understood that Jason Jordan was going to lose here. I had no problem with that, but I just wanted to see what Jason Jordan could do. It was all about how he was going to lose, and Jason Jordan lost, and he lost in a good enough fashion that showcased to people like, this guy is good. Because for the longest, everybody was like, why didn't you do Chad Gable? Why didn't you do Chad Gable? Why didn't you do Chad Gable? Why didn't you do Chad? You know what I'm saying? Now, first of all, Jason Jordan's parents in real life, the guy is mixed. So I even saw that online. This is the first time I've addressed this. A lot of people are like, well, Chad Gable, because, Jason Jordan, the guy's black. I'm like, okay, Kurt Angle in real life, he likes some black women, some colored women. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Jason Jordan, his parents in real life, of course, is black and white. So it actually does fit. You know what I mean? Even if you kind of look at the cheekbones and the jaw structures is rather similar. So I didn't mind going that way, but we didn't really see what Jason Jordan was capable of. He had the very, very vanilla kind of attitude, most like a lot of the black guys that come in there. It's like either if you're not singing or dancing, you're just happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? R-Truth was like that for a while. Kofi Kingston was like that for a while. Xavier Woods came in like that. Apollo Crews like that. You know what I'm saying? No Jason Jordan like that, So I get that. He's very vanilla and very bland. I'd love to see more coming from the guy. You know what I'm saying? But this was a showcase that showed people, hey, Chad Gable isn't the only dude that can cut. And I respect the heck out of Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. I like their different styles. They both bring you traditional wrestling. Chad Gable's more on the catch camp style of wrestling, and Jason Jordan is more on the Greco-Roman style. I like that different dynamicism that they would bring, but obviously they're not an American outfit anymore. And we got Shelton Benjamin to pick up on that. Totally fine with that, you know what I'm saying? But Jason Jordan, he went out here and he did his thing. And I liked how he tried to work Cena. Like, he knew he wasn't going to outwit Cena in terms of ring presence, in terms of being a ring general, anything like that. So he stuck to his guns, and he went in there and he tried to wrestle this man like this was some NCAA collegiate college wrestling here, okay? He's doing fireman takeover. He's doing wrist locks. He's doing arm drags. He's doing whatever he can, to keep John Cena off of his game, until finally afterwards, Cena just straight up just started clocking him in the head, just straight rights. Nothing fancy, nothing pretty, but extremely effective. Just straight rights to the face. Just boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? And it was a nice back and forth. I mean, even Jason Jordan looked like he was trying to go for some Three Amigos with some Northern Light suplex, and he got a Northern Light in, and then he flipped into it and got back into the Northern Light, and then bridged it for a pin, and it was really, really beautiful. And like I said, it was a nice showcase to show what Jason Jordan was capable of, because we've always seen it from Chad Gable. Even back when they were in NXT, we've always seen it from him. But now it's nice to see that Jason Jordan only needs some microphone skills and, possibly a heel turn like John Cena said. But, other than that, the match was solid. Cena gets the win here with the freaking AA afterwards. You know, he shakes the guy's hand, he picks him up, and he was like, you know, you're good, man. You know what I'm saying? So Cena basically, he gives him the rub. And then, of course, everybody's favorite bad guy, who's technically not a bad guy. He says he's a great character. You know, he says he's the first true great character. But I always thought Steve Austin was the first true great bad guy character. I mean, like, he did his own thing. You know, he drank the beer, he marched to the beat of his own drum. You know, he wasn't neither good, but he wasn't neither bad. So Roman Reigns, I really don't feel like he's the first true great character. But anyway, Roman comes on out, basically undermines everything that Jason Jordan did. He was like, how, if you're so good, how you want to let Jason Jordan just, you know, just run you like that? You should have just demolished him. You know, if that was me, I would have destroyed him. Why did you string him along like you usually did? And then you chopped him on down. You know, then John Cena and Roman Reigns decide to go back and forth again, in which case John Cena decides to let us all know what we're saying at home about about Roman Reigns. We don't like the way he looks. We don't like his attitude. We don't like how he runs around here like he owns the place. You know what I'm saying? And he needs to be taught some respect, and John Cena is going to do that. Basically summed up everything that John said to Roman Reigns here, and I totally did not have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, we've got the Shield, or I'm not sure what they're calling themselves, but technically these guys are the Shield, even though Roman Reigns has their outfit, has their music and everything, but for all intents and purposes, this is the Shield here. You know what I'm saying? But they all want commentary and all of that good stuff. Then we got Sheamus and Cesaro. You know, that, and by the way, I really like Sheamus and Cesaro. I say it all the time. You go back and watch my videos and talk about how much I like these guys here. And I've been meaning to say this, but I haven't said it before. Like, I don't know if you notice these motherfuckers is doing the whole Dragon Ball Z fusion thing here. You know what I'm saying? Like fusion. So props to Sheamus and Cesaro for being freaking Dragon Ball Z fans, and I know they're watching the new Dragon Ball Super. And if you ain't watching the new Dragon Ball Super, you got to get on it. It's off the chain, you know. So yeah, we got these guys out. I love them, you know. As I said, you know what I'm saying. And then we got Heath Slater and Rhino. We ain't seen Heath Slater and Rhino. I mean, they used to be hot for a minute. Heath had kids. I liked it when he was doing this thing on SmackDown. Then you have Rhino always walking around with a cheese plate, you know, Mr. Former ECW champion. You know, I don't know what happened to these guys. They got traded over to Raw. They didn't do too much, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, they've got to do what they got to do because the tag teams on here are so limited. But anyway, Sheamus wins with a bro kick. You know what I'm saying? And once again, I love their Dragon Ball Z fusion pose, you know, so not too much to say about that match. You know, it was a filler match, you know, it served its purpose, you know what I'm saying? So we got backstage, you know, with the Hardys and Renee, you know, we got Jeff and Brother Matt, you know. I love me some Jeff Hardy. I don't know if they're going to be going broken anytime soon. Jeff likes to allude to it, you know what I'm saying? And Matt definitely alludes that he's going to go broken anytime soon, but you know, everything's delightful and wondrous. And then he goes back to himself. It's like he's snapping in and out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on here with this Anthem thing, GFW, but please, man, you were depriving us all from this party goodness. You know what I'm saying? That would like invigorate the WWE with something different that a lot of us haven't seen before. Oh, excuse me, that a lot of the typical WWE fans haven't seen before. Because if you're a wrestling fan, you've seen it before, okay? You know what I'm saying? You already know about the broken hearts. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Miz Taraj is out, you know, and you got the Miz versus Jeff Hardy for the title, and it was a good match. And there was a couple of points in time during this match I thought that Matt was gonna win because after all, you know, excuse me, Jeff was gonna win because WWE has shown many times that they like Jeff Hardy way more than they like Matt Hardy. You know what I'm saying? So he's already had the Intercontinental title several times, the tag team title several times. He's won the world title several times. So you know what I'm saying? So I was almost like, okay, maybe they might do this, you know. But the Miz is out there breaking a lot of records, you know what I'm saying? In a couple of days, he might break a Honky Tonk's record, you know what I'm saying, for the longest title hold for the Intercontinental Championship. So it was a toss up. It could have been Jeff Hardy, or it could have been the Miz. But luckily, the Miz held on to his title, you know, after they kicked away the Miz to Raj and Matt Hardy, you know, that just left Maurice there. And Maurice, she interfered without really technically interfering. I mean, she just grabbed Miz's hand and was kind of like, she kind of revitalized him, I would suppose, you know. And then the Miz just got out of the way. I mean, there's no cheating there, you know. And then boom, boom, bang, he hit him what he had to hit him with, and then that was the win right there. And Miz kept the title. I was okay with it. I'm like, all right, so now we see what the WWE is going to do with him. They're going to have him hold on to this belt for a while so he can break some more records out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay with that. Maybe they're going to try to have him take down the Ultimate Pedro Morales' record. And I believe that dude is at like 600 plus days holding the Intercontinental title. And I think he only had it once or twice. So then after that, we got Nia Jax backstage, and she's feeling really, really confident after what she did to Alexa Bliss. And I say it all the time, and I know everybody don't like the girl. That's okay. This is for me. I am a Nia Jax fan. I think she's awesome. I think she's great. I see the upside in her. I see the potential in her. I understand she's green. I understand she needs work. I totally get that. But I am a huge fan of her. Her smile, her look, her size, pretty much everything about the damn girl I like. I mean, that's the ultimate woman, if you ask me. We get this girl to New Japan, and we get her some freaking Kenny Omega, some Kazuchika Okada training. Ooh, man, oh man. We get her to the dojo and then have her come back here like we did to Karma. And she would be freaking amazing killing machine, okay? So she's backstage with Emma. Emma comes rolling on up in there, you know what I'm saying? And I like Emma's new gimmick. So basically, is Emma like one of these new millennials now? Every time you turn around, she's always on the phone trying to get likes all the time, trying to solicit people, trying to make guys out there be all thirsty and whatnot. She's all like, I just posted something. Now look at the reaction that I'm getting from everybody, you know. So every time you see her, she's always doing the thing on the phone and all that. So I figure, okay, I like this. So she's kind of like the club girl that I can't stand. But you know, I like this Emma character though, you know, just fighting all that. But in real life, that bitch kind of drives me crazy, you know what I'm saying? Every time you turn around, she's always like taking selfies and whatnot, posting them and whatnot. The Instagram whore. Oh yeah, I can't stand that, you know what I'm saying? But basically Kurt Angle makes it Nia and Emma versus Sorsha and Alexa, which I definitely don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But after this, so we got a nice cruiserweight match coming up with Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, and Noam Dar. And then we got Enzo. You know, those are the guys, they already in the ring, you know what I'm saying? Because we got 3 hours of television, right? Why give people their entrances when you can just give us more commercials than usual, WWE? Don't act like we don't notice that. Some of us is out here actually timing it and are noticing that y'all are cramming in a lot more commercials, especially on SmackDown. We're going to talk about that on the SmackDown review. You know what I'm saying? So Enzo is out here with his team, Cedric Alexander and Grand Metalik again. And much I could say about these guys. They're freaking awesome. I wish they would give them more time. Enzo Amore is Enzo Amore. At least now they're admitting, hey, the dude can't wrestle. He's telling you, hey, I'm not that good. I'm on 205. I'm trying to step it up. I'm working hard. They're letting you know because we all heard the backstageness. They don't like Enzo Amore. They don't like what he represents. All these guys on 205 can go. These are some really good, legit Ring of Honor, you know what I'm saying, New Japan, CZW guys. And they can go. So you bring Enzo Amore up in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it almost seemed like it was a slap in the face to these guys. So at least they actually addressed that, you know what I'm saying? But who do you think obviously won that match? Enzo Amore won that match after a blatant thumb to the if there was ever a freaking thumb to the eye, Enzo is kind of making it like, excuse me, like he can't win unless he cheats. So he blatantly thumb to the eye and then the eat the feet move, you know what I'm saying? Jordan's to the face, and then bada bing, bada boom, that was over, you know what I'm saying? And we got Sasha Banks backstage with Alexa Bliss. Now it's their turn to talk about what's going on tonight, you know, and then they interact, and then Sasha just got her up in the face like, I don't like you, bitch. But we're going to have the team pretty much. And you can really just see that real life animosity between the two. You know what I'm saying? Because if ever there was just such some similarness, you know what I'm saying? You got Sasha Banks and her nice and her petiteness, and then you got Alexa Bliss and her nice and petiteness. So you can kind of see legitimately they could go either way in terms of like, oh, they want that pretty face to say to hold the belt. That could be Sasha in her pretty face. That could be Alexa in her pretty face. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be that the Sasha Banks character, how she feels like she's fierce and she's better than everybody. You know what I'm saying? She's top bitch. Or the Alexa Bliss character, the Harley Quinn character. You know that she feels like she's better than everybody and that she's top bitch. I mean, it's such interesting characters here. I mean, you know, it could go either way. So putting them on the team, you just knew that was just like that all that ego right there. You know, I mean, they don't really play on that with women and whatnot, but girls have ego the same way guys have ego. And you know, they would always talk about that. Like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, when they teamed, the Mega Powers, you know, they talked about, oh, can they coexist with the ego and whatnot. John Cena and Randy Orton, when they did the team, can they coexist with the ego and whatnot? You know what I'm saying? Rock and John Cena, when they had team, they talked about could they coexist the ego and whatnot. So I wish they would talk about that with Sasha and Alexa. You know what I'm saying? Like, sheesh, man, that's a lot of ego right there. How they can even fit in the arena with all that ego? So up next we got Finn Balor coming on out. You know what I'm saying? The coolness, the brother Finn Balor, Sir Fergal Devitt. You know what I'm saying? He comes out calling out Bray Wyatt. Talks about how the NXT title looked good around his waist. Then he was like, the Universal title looked good around my waist, and he didn't get a chance to get the Intercontinental title. He was like, that would have looked good around my waist, but Bray came along with his magic, and he blinked in and he blinked out, and then he fucked it up for me, pretty much is what he said. You know what I mean? And then pretty much Bray Wyatt shows up and claimed that the only reason that he was able to beat him is because he had the demon to tap into it, and that if he's serious about it, then he'll try to fight him again without the demon. And once again, like I've said many a times, and like a lot of people have said, WWE, we don't understand what is going on with Bray. I understand this is a smooth talker. He's fast. He doesn't trip up on his lines. He's got something interesting. But the way he enters feuds and gets into them, like, there's no substance to it. It'll just be like, I don't like how the fans like you, so now I'm going to feud with you. I don't like that your demon character seems to be more popular than me and what I'm tapping into, so we're going to feud, Finn. And it makes no sense. That's all I'm saying. I like how, like I said, I like how he cuts the promos. I love his entrance, his mystique, you know, his aura. I like all of that. I just want Bray to be more deliberate with his promos. You know what I'm saying? Not everything has to be like a mystery. And he definitely doesn't always have to come out and talk for 5 minutes worth of circle speaking. And it's this and it's that. And it's like, come on, Bray, just get to it sometimes. You know what I mean? That's all we're saying here, you know? So now we got Sasha with Alexa versus Nia with Emma. And as I have said many, many times, you know, I am a huge fan of Nia Jax, and I'm a fan of Emma, you know what I'm saying? And they changed up her music again, by the way. I noticed that Emma's music last week was different, you know. Then there was complaints about it, then they even talked about it to CFO Dollar Sign, and he was like, I didn't do that. Then this week, you know what I'm saying, the music changed. And I wonder, seriously, I know I'm jumping ahead here, right? But I wonder if they gave the pin to Emma just so that we can hear her theme music play, so that we could be like, okay, so they changed it and made it better. Because our original bubbly music that they turned and made it all like evil and whatnot, I was like, okay, I like that, you know. Then they changed it into some other like modern day millennial typical disco type music, you know, techno music, and then it kind of came back into this, and I was like, all right, still not as good as the original Bad Girl remix, you know. But seriously, I really feel like they gave her the win, you know, just so that can happen, you know. So pretty much, you know, you had a back and forth between them as much as you could have a back and forth while Nia Jax stood out there. And then she came in. She was the great equalizer. She pretty much put the smack down on Sasha Banks. You know, went to go and do the pin, but but Emma was like, nah, I'm gonna come up in here and I'm gonna take the credit. You know, so Emma takes the credit, boom, gets the pin, while my precious Nia Jax is just looking like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Emma celebrating and all of that, like, yeah, I did this. She's trying to high five, you know, Nia, and then she got picked up and dropped into the Samoan drop right there. She got put down real quick, and Nia let her know that she wants that title. Just like she said last week when she picked up that belt and she felt everybody tremble. She she want that title. You know what I'm saying? So she's letting y'all know. You know, she's putting the women's division on notice. You know, until Asuka comes up there and then beats her like she did in NXT. You know what I'm saying? All right, so look, we got Braun Strowman backstage with Renee. He wants to know why is Kurt putting him in a match with the Big Show. He's like he's beating the Big Show, but it's not easy to beat the Big Show. You know what I'm saying? He's giving him credit where the credit is due and all of that, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's all like, look, why would Kurt put me in a steel cage match with Big Show of all people just weeks before my No Mercy match with Brock Lesnar? And that's a rather valid point, you know. And then he even goes and makes another freaking axiom. He goes, is Kurt gonna put Brock Lesnar in any kind of cage matches. He gonna put him in any matches, and we know Brock Lesnar just gonna sit up in his cushy farm or just up there chilling. You know what I'm saying? So Braun is out here, fighting on the streets and all of that. And Brock is just living it up. You know what I'm saying? As Universal Champion, we barely see him. We wonder why our ratings is. I get that Brock is a spectacle. I understand that Brock doesn't need to fight all the time. That's fine and dandy. But you have a championship belt. Jinder Mahal is actually seen. Even if we don't like Jinder Mahal as the darn champion, even if he sucks as a champion, at least we see our champion on TV. We won't have to go months upon months, and that's a shame. Not even like 1 month or 2 months. We talk about 3 to 4 months at a time without seeing our champion. And yet the champion is supposed to be the focal point of the television, and yet they're not there. Like, it almost seems logical like the ratings will suffer if the show is built around having the champion, but we don't ever see the champion. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there we go. So that was that there. And then we got Seth Rollins with Dean. Pretty much a Shield is backstage. You see them walking and whatnot. Then they come across Elias Sampson just sitting there just strumming the guitar. And I like me some Elias Sampson, El Vagabundo, as I'm gonna keep calling him after that NXT takeover. I love me some Elias Sampson. This guy is good. He's got the look. He's got the body, the height, the presence. He's definitely going to go somewhere with that gimmick. And he's really good in the ring, too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him. You know what I'm saying? So we got the Good Brothers, Carl and freaking Luke. You know what I'm saying? They're out there. But then we got Sheamus and Cesaro in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So they just panning. They just right out there in the ring and whatnot. And then he's in there arguing back and forth. Like, oh, shit, what's going on here, right? I didn't know what was going to happen here. So then we got Seth and Dean, you know what I'm saying? They pretty much beat the Good Brothers up while Cesaro and Sheamus was just outside, just kind of just like circling, you know what I'm saying? Hovering around doing what they do, just looking rather shady, like you just knew they was going to do something here. You know what I'm saying? One of them tried to do a distraction, and it failed, of course. And then, you know what I'm saying? Seth and Dean still wound up getting the win, So bam, bam. Then afterwards, they go up in there and they beat up on the Good Brothers. What did you think? You know what I'm saying? I still like Sheamus and Cesaro, as I said earlier. I love the fusion dance. I love the fusion pose. I want to see the Good Brothers get on with Finn Balor. You know what I'm saying? And let's just go ahead and get this Bullet Club. But I can foresee them doing the Bullet Club or something like that later on. Like, seriously, after we get the Shield formed later on down the line, like, because you have to have a reason to bring Roman back in. You need some groups to fight. And that's when we bring Finn and his Bullet Club in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we got to get the Shield and all this other stuff going. You know what I'm saying? Before we even think about trying to bring the freaking Bullet Club back together. Shoot. All right. Then we got backstage Enzo celebrating with Grand Metalik and Cedric Alexander. Not much to really say right here. They just talking about how, yeah, we excited, we won. And he called him freaking Pepper Jack, and Grand Metalik's like, I'm so Pepper Jack. You know what I'm saying? Not too much here. More reasons why people aren't tuning into 205, because they're not giving us nothing to really tune into it on 205. So unless you're a freaking hardcore fan, you're trying to get these fair weather everyday fans to tune into 205 on the network, you got to give them more to sink their teeth into. You know what I'm saying? WWE, this is salad. Then you're trying to get to a bunch of meat eaters here, and they're just not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? They want a little bit more. They want some freaking steak with some potatoes here. And they not getting it. And now we got Robot Trolley backstage with the ref. I think John Cohen, that was in the John Cohen, I believe so. That was in the match where Big Show and Braun Strowman, you know what I'm saying, where he legitimately fell. I mean, you could look at that and tell, like, nah, that wasn't no, like, normal ref bump where I just fall over and then I put my hand up and I just act like I'm hurt. Like, John fell at that ring hard. He went the whole, and you could tell he went and pushed his weight back like he thought the rope was going to be there. And it wasn't there, and he fell backwards all onto his neck. So, he was talking about how it was crazy. And he was like, what are you going to do differently? He was like, I'm just going to stay out of the way. Pretty much what every ref is supposed to do, right? They're just going to stay out of the way, So that was pretty much that. Then you had the Big Show backstage, they interviewing him. And this guy's looking like a freaking young King Kong Bundy here with the clean shaven face and all of that. So then up next, you got Big Show versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage match. And to tell you the truth, I could sit here and try to shit all over this and whatnot, or this or that. But it was actually rather entertaining for two big guys here, because you have to ask yourself, what more can these guys do? They've already tried to have a technical match. They've already tried to have a brawl. They've already broken the ring here. Now you've got, the steel cage is supposedly the blow off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what more can they possibly do, right? Well, they tried to make it a little bit hardcore in here. Big Show's going to the top rope like this is his freaking early career here in WCW here after he done showed up and won the title with freaking monster trucks and stuff. And I remember that. I believe I was 10, 10 when Big Show showed up. Yeah. So boy, oh boy, I'm not gonna forget that moment here. But he thought it was old school WCW times. He went to the top rope and he was hesitating and whatnot, and he did that elbow drop on Braun Strowman. It looked pretty darn good. Yeah, you know, I'll give it this. This was a good match. Big Show hit the knockout punch. Big Show decided he was going to try to climb the cage a couple of times. Braun Strowman slammed the door on him. You know, and ultimately Braun Strowman picked up the win, and I was like, okay, you know, that was actually a nice solid match here. You know, that's that. Then Braun was like, pretty much, I'm not finished with you yet. He didn't say it. I wish he would have said it. I'm not finished with you yet, Big Show. But he pretty much picked up the microphone and was like, look, Big Show, I'm about to put your ass out the pasture. You know what I'm saying? And then he took him, you know, picked him up like he was about to do that signature running power slam, which is impressive that Braun, after all that time, he just scooped him up right after the freaking 20 minutes worth of fighting and whatnot. You know, just scooped up Big Show like he was nothing. Like this, just like deadlift, scooped him up, and then proceeded to place him through the cage onto the outside. Kind of like what I believe it was Big Show did to Steve Austin, and it was in Hell in a Cell, I believe, where he allowed Steve Austin win because he threw him into the cage, and then he had to get out. And Steve Austin held on to the cage, and then he flew right on out of there, and then he won. And that's pretty much what Braun did to Big Show. He threw him out of the cage onto the gimmick thing, and it just kind of fell down, and he fell onto it, and it looked like Big Show was hurt, and he was just laid out there. Big Show sold it for Braun, and I'll give him that. And that's how Monday Night Raw went off. You know what I'm saying? With Braun standing tall, and you know, and the referees running over the Big Show like, oh my God, is Big Show dead? You know how the referees overselling and everything. You know what I'm saying? So overall, Monday Night Raw, I would definitely give it let me say probably a 6.5, 7. You know what I mean? It's definitely getting better. What saved this show for me, in my opinion, was the opening match with John Cena and Jason Jordan. It was such a breath of fresh air, I tell you, to see the show start off with actual, genuine, good wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know how many times does Raw start off, right? All right. And then it just goes right into promo after promo, especially when Seth Rollins was champion. I mean, it was like 15 minutes worth of monologuing all the time, you know? So just to see them just a little quick video package, you know what I'm saying? By quick, like 2-3 minutes worth of video package, to jump right into it was pretty darn good here. So I was happy to see that, you know what I'm saying? And it was nice to see Braun Strowman in some action, because I like Braun Strowman. He's definitely grown on me, you know what I mean? And anytime I can see Roman Reigns getting cut down, oh my goodness, John Cena teaching this guy some respect, saying all the things that we as the fans want to say at home, but we don't get to say. You know, like just seeing this, you know, it's a beautiful thing here. So as I've said, I give Monday Night Raw an overall 6.5, 7 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely stepped it up. You know what I mean? SmackDown has got a long ways to go if it's going to try to catch up to here. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely want to see some more action in here. Like, please, can we try to do with the less commercials? You know, because I'm timing you guys, and the commercials are coming along more rapidly, and it's like we're getting less show. And like, I mean, if you don't believe me, like everybody, you all can do this at home. Get your stopwatch out, or use your TiVo or your DVR, any of that, and you can time the commercials, and you too can see, and you can collaborate and see for yourself if Raw is taken away. You know, so that's it for this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, peace out now.